Today I want to talk about the Jira Mobile app, which I downloaded a couple of weeks ago, but I never really used it. So today I was actually looking at this app and I thought maybe I will also record a video just to share my thoughts and my review of this Jira Mobile app. So the moment you download this app, you will get this icon on your desktop. And the good thing about this app is that you can also configure multiple instances of Jira. So right now I have configured two instances of Jira, which I can manage using this app. But you can always add more accounts of your Jira instance if you're using Jira Cloud version, not the server version. So as you can see in this particular app, there's an option to add and configure a new account. So if I want, I can also configure one of my other instances of Jira, which I will not do right now, but I will probably go back to my main page. So let us say if I want to access my Jira instance, which is right now currently configured to use Jira Quick Guide 5. This is one of the instances which I am currently using, but I can also switch the account to a different instance, which is right now letting me switch from the very top of this particular app. So let me now work on Jira Quick Guide 5, because in this particular instance of Jira, I have Jira Software, I have Jira Core, and I also have Jira Service Desk. So I think it will give us a very good idea of what all this app can do. So if you notice on this particular app, we have few tabs. So the first tab is projects, the second tab is issues, and then we have notifications. So let us now take a look at the projects tab. And right now it is now showing me one of my agile board, which is quite good. So there is an option to work on the boards, but I want to see how I can view all the projects. So if I go back to the main section here, the main projects tab, I can see that I have list of all the projects in my app. On top there is a button that says plus, and I believe if I want, I can also create a new project. So this is a good thing. This is a very good feature. So let us say if I want to create a new project of type Kanban, I'll just do it right now. And you can select a project template, which is great. You can create Kanban type of project, you can create a Scrum, and you also have the option to use other templates like project management, task tracking, process control. This looks good, this looks interesting. So let me create a project very quickly. And the moment you create a project, you have access to your board. It is a Kanban based board, which is good, but on top you have the option to also take a look at, I believe these are the filters. If I click on this particular icon on top, it will probably filter all the issues assigned to me. But let me go back to my sample Scrum project where I have some issues to play with. So this is my project where I have some issues. I created this project earlier with some data so that I can show you how it works. And if I work on the project, of course, I have the option to take a look at all the columns that are configured. I can always drag the issue, I believe, from one column to another column. This is a great feature. So you can actually start the progress on your issues using this app. If I also click on, let us say, one of the issue, let us see how the issue view looks like. So this is my actual issue. On top, you have the option to, I believe, attach a file. You can take a photograph, you can attach some images, I believe, and you can also upload some files from your mobile device. That is great. You have also the option to, I believe, log time. So this is again interesting feature, because using mobile app, you can start logging your time. Maybe on this particular issue I worked on, let us say, maybe 5 hours. I can also add a comment. This is my comment, and I can also log my time. So this is great. We can do time tracking from the mobile app. You can take a look at the issue key. You can take a look at the issue, the issue summary, the title, and then you can also change the status of the issue within your mobile app. So let us say I want to start the progress, so I can change the status to in progress. This is quite handy. I can take a look at the description of my issue, which is fine. You have the option to also take a look at the subtask. You can also create a subtask within your main issue using the mobile app. This is also great. This is a new subtask. I'm now creating a new subtask using my mobile app. I can also take a look at some other details like this particular issue is part of my sample Scrum project. The issue type is story. Priority is medium, and you can also change it. So let us say if the priority is not medium, it is low. You can actually click on this particular section of the mobile app where it says priority. You can actually change it to something else. You have the option to also, I believe, assign it to someone else. This is quite obvious, and I believe if this particular story is part of an epic, you can also take a look at the epic here itself. And right now it is actually asking me to assign this particular stories to a specific epic using the mobile app. So this is quite good. You can do a lot of things using your mobile app. You also have the option to go to more, and using the more option you can I believe add some keywords. These are nothing but my labels. You have the option to also, I believe, change the components. You can also add a component. I believe this is quite great because I'm the admin. I'm also the project. I believe I'm also the project admin, so I can also add a component from my mobile app, and I'm doing it from my issue view screen. And I can also, I believe, change the or assign this particular story to a specific version. I can also vote. No, I don't think I can vote from here, but I think this is quite good. It will let you do a lot of things that you can anyways do from your Jira view screen when you're working on the browser. And on top you have these options to also link it to a different issue within your I believe Jira instance. You can select an issue to which you want to link it to. You can probably click on the link button, and I believe this link will be displayed here when you look at the linked issues section. If you go back to the top, you have the option to take a look at you can actually create a subtask which you can do anyways by going to the subtask section, but you can also watch this particular issue. You can also share it to someone else. So I believe you can share this issue using your mobile app, and it will let you share, I believe, on WhatsApp or maybe on Facebook. Maybe, why not? So let us now go back. So let us see if I can go back to my home, my main section of this particular app. I just want to take a look at the backlog because right now this is my board, but I believe on top these are my quick filters. I think yes, these are probably my quick filters. I can also complete my sprint. How do I switch my sprint? If I click on this particular option on top, I can take a look at the board. I can switch to a different board, but how do I switch to a different sprint? So right now I believe I just have I think one sprint in my board. Let me see how I can do it. So let me first take a look at the backlog. So this is my backlog. Right now it says no issue, but if I want, I can also create more issues within my backlog right from this particular screen. So this is my story. So I can actually no, this is my task, but I can create a story using my mobile app. I can also create a bug. So let me create a story very quickly, and if I probably how do I create? Shall I press enter? Oh yes, not the enter, but the I think the tick here. I'm not sure if it is the enter key or what, but I think you can actually create a new issue, which is a story. But let me also create a task, and I'll press the same enter key on my keyboard. I'll also create a bug. So I'm creating a couple of issues in my backlog, and this looks good. I believe I can also change the rank of my issues within my backlog. And if I go back to my sprint, so I just want to start a new sprint. This is what I want to do. So right now, yes, I can see that there is an option to start the sprint, and I believe this sprint is not really started. It is basically waiting for someone to start, but there's a plus button at the bottom, and I think this plus button will let me create a new task or a new issue. How do I start a sprint? This is a bit weird, but I think it's more about the UI. I think it's more about knowing how to do your management of work. So let me try to go back to my backlog, and let me see if I can create a new sprint. No, there is no option to create a new sprint. This oh yes, there is an option. So on top, if you click on this option, it says create a sprint. Let us name this sprint as December, and let us now add the items. So I believe I can simply drag the items from my backlog. Let me try to do it. I'll just drag it. Oh yes, so you have the option to, you need to keep it pressed for some time, and then it will ask you to move to December. I was thinking that I will probably be able to drag them, the way you do it on your browser. But I think this is fine. You're still able to work and do a lot of things on your mobile app, which I believe is great, because when you're on the go, you are not really interested in doing the whole work from mobile app. But if the mobile app is letting you do a lot of things, maybe with few more clicks, I think this is also fine. This is also good enough, to be honest. So let us now start the sprint. And I believe before you start the sprint, you may want to go inside the task. You may want to also do some estimation. So I'm just trying to find the option to also create some story points for this particular to add some story points to do some estimation, which I'm not sure how will I do it, but let me try to add a description. This is my description, so this is fine. I can add a description. Let me try to go to this option on top called no, it is letting me create a new. So I can see the option to, yes, I can actually. So no, I'm not correct here. So let me try to do it again. Let me find the issue that already has some story points. So how do I add a story point? There is no option to add a story point here. No. If I go back to my original issue, so maybe I don't know how to add a story point, but maybe I'll probably figure out later. Let us now start the sprint. If I go to the option to start the sprint, it is now letting me ask this, to start the sprint by specifying the duration. I can change, I believe, the dates, and this is quite obvious. So let us start the sprint, and I believe I will be taken back to my my board. But I want to filter, or I want to change to a different sprint. So this is the option on top. So you can change to December sprint. You can now drag the issues from one column to another column. Let us try to start the work. I'm trying to do it. Oh, for some reason I'm not able to drag it. I can go inside and I can change the progress of my issue, which is great. But if I want to drag it to a different column, yes, you can do it. I think it takes some time, and I think when you're working on the mobile app, it's a bit cumbersome sometimes. But I think it is letting you do things that that you would anyways do from the UI. And I think when you're on the move, let us say when you're traveling, when you're maybe on the train, you can still work on the issue. You can still do a lot of things. One thing which is missing is that I wanted to estimate the story points for my story, which I could not do yet, but I will probably figure out later on. So what else we can do from this particular screen? So I think you have the option to take a look at the reports. So can I look at my velocity chart? Yes, there is a velocity chart, but I am more interested in the burned on chart, which is not here right now. But I think this is a good start. It anyways says on top reports beta, but I believe more reports will come in the next few months, or maybe in the next few weeks. Let us see how it goes. I will probably keep you updated with the new updates on the app. So what all we can do with the project settings? So when you go to the project settings, you can change the name. You can, I believe, change the key, which is good. You can change the project avatar. This is also nice. So this software project looks good. Let us take a look at the service desk project, which I believe is definitely a bit different. There is no board. First of all, you can see on top that you have the list of queues. So this is great. So if you're working on, let us say, your issue, you can your tickets. When you're working with Jira Service Desk, you have the option to take a look at the to take a look at the queues. But can I create a new queue from this particular mobile app? Maybe not. I'm not sure, but I don't see any option to create a new queue. But I can definitely work on my issues. So if I open this particular issue, which is nothing but my Jira Service Desk incident, so I can take a look at my SLAs. I can change the progress. It is something similar to what we saw earlier. But do we have the option to take a look at the reports here? So there's no tab to work on the report. What all we can do from the project settings? So you can just do the same thing. You can change the name, you can change the key. And let us take a look at the Jira Core project, which is human resources. And this particular project is something similar to your Scrum-based project, because you have the option to work on the board, which is definitely a good thing that we have. But I believe there should be an option to take a look at the backlog kind of a feature, which is not really here in my Jira Core project, but I think this is fine. I can live with that. I can, as long as I'm able to create issues, as long as I'm able to change the progress of my issues from my mobile app, even if I'm working on a Jira Core based project, I think I'm happy. So I can change the progress, the status. Sorry, I can also use the board, which is quite handy. I can drag the cards from one column to another column, but there's no list of issues in a list format like your Scrum or maybe Kanban based project. So let me let me go back to my Kanban based project, which is my sample Kanban based project, which we created earlier without any issues in it. But in this particular project, we have some issues. So again, this is similar to your Jira Core. Although I'm using Jira Software Kanban based template, but the way you work on it is kind of similar. So this is quite good. I think your column constraints are also displayed here. So right now it says maximum 1, and it is in red color because we have more than of course one issue. And if I move my issue from in progress to my done column, the maximum column constraint is now back to the original gray color. So I think this looks good. Overall, this app is quite handy, and I think I like it. The only complaint is that it right now supports only Jira Cloud. So let us quickly take a look at the Issues tab, and I believe this Issues tab will give you the list of all the filters, I believe. Yes, so it says on top saved filters. I can also do a search. So let us say if I want to search for something like sample, because we have a lot of issues with the name sample in their title, I believe. So yes, you can take a look at the you can actually search using keywords. I don't expect to type in JQL here, which would be amazing and great, but I think you can actually do a keyword search, which is in a way not bad. You can also restrict your search to a specific project, and I think this is good. This is not really a bad feature where you can just use keywords to search and also do a search within specific board or a project. So overall, I think this app is quite good. And the next tab is notifications. So what all we can do here? So I think these are the notifications that will probably show you something when you have some activities like when the issues are assigned to you. So it says when there is activity on your work, this is where you will get to know all the updates. So this looks quite obvious. And the last tab is of course your account. So overall, my feedback is really good and positive. I like this app, and I can do a lot of things. The only thing which I think missing right now is probably uh, reports. If I'm able to take a look at the reports, maybe some of my dashboards, and if I'm also able to search using some advanced features, maybe using a lot of filters, I think that would make this app amazing. But overall, I like this app, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you very much.